Hello, and welcome to FOED 6980. This is Tessa Bishop. I'm your instructor this summer, and I'm really excited about this class. I love teaching this class. I get to learn so much from you guys, and you guys so often have such great ideas and interesting research topics that develop over time in this class, and I'm really excited to get started with you guys. This is just going to be a short little talk about me, about the class, and about our first really big assignment. It can catch people off guard, especially in the summer. And so I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, that you know what's going on and what's expected of you. So just a little bit about me. I received my PhD from Tennessee Tech in May, but I've been studying qualitative research for a very long time. Believe it or not, I live in Seattle, just moved here last month with my wife and my daughter and my two very good dogs, Petey and Junior. Petey's the one in the front, watching out, looking on guard. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm really passionate about research. Did qualitative research for my dissertation, so I'm very familiar with it. And I'm interested to see where you all will take it. So about this class, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you. It is a lot of reading and writing. And even more than just being a lot of reading and writing, you have to take something from all of the readings and the writings, because they all build on each other and they all are preparing you to write this final proposal. There's no busy work in this class, not at all. So, even the discussion papers, which you may think are a little hokey, or you don't know why you have to talk about yourself and how it relates to your research. I mean, hey, you don't even know what research is, right? I can see how those assignments might be considered kind of a little fluffy, but really they're great examples of qualitative research design, and writing and data presentation, and they're helpful in a lot of different ways. My guess is that a lot of you haven't really read a lot of qualitative research before, that you're used to reading statistics or quantitative research. And qualitative research is really different from that. From the very beginning, it's very different. And so you could call it a little bit strange. But I love it, and I think you guys are going to love it too. But that's all to say that this class kind of requires you to open your brain a little bit about what research is. And this can be tough, but we're going to get through it. This class can also be a real challenge for people who have never done a lit review. So I'm going to take the remainder of this time and talk about that. In addition to the weekly assignments, the class ends in this big project called the proposal, or your proposal, or your research proposal, or a prospectus. It's all the same thing. The proposal is 3 chapters of a larger research project that you will finish with Dr. Beach next semester. The first 3 chapters is submitted in my class, in this class that you're in now. So you'll be writing the first 3 chapters of your research project, called the proposal. Chapter 2, which is the lit review, is due first. And I can talk about why that, we made that choice to make it due first, but trust me, it's the best. So that's the lit review is due July 8th. The introduction, which is chapter 1, and the methods chapter, which is chapter 3, and everything else are due August 8th. So we're rapidly coming up on deadlines here. So this first really big assignment, other than the discussion papers and other activities that we're doing, it's due on July 8th. So it's really, really soon. For those of you who are not familiar with a lit review, basically a lit review is like a description of studies and other research done on a particular topic. It's basically a report of what we know about something. And when I say we, I mean your discipline, the scholars in your field. And please look in handout 9. It is so important. If you are confused about a lit review, and you don't have to read it this week, but I highly encourage you to if you've never done a lit review before. So a lit review is composed of many different entries. And an entry is like your description of one article. Okay? So if I'm going to do my paper on, let's say, inclusion in reading class in middle school, with students who are minorities, let's just say, then what I'm going to be looking for in my lit review is I'm going to be looking for literature on inclusion, middle school, and minorities, right? I need to understand what all of those things are and how they all interact to sort of shape how I think about my own research topic. Does that make sense? It'll make more sense as we go along. For this lit review in this class, you'll need to review at least 12 scholarly articles. You'll have at least 12 entries in your lit review. Okay? The articles that you choose to write about in your lit review should all, I know this seems a little repetitive, but it should all relate to your research problem. Okay? So if I'm doing my project on inclusion, I don't really need to give an entire history of literacy. Like, yes, I'm doing inclusion in reading. Yes, reading and literacy are really important, but do I need to review 12 articles on the history of how this curriculum came into favor? No, the answer is no. It's related, but it's not specifically relevant to your topic. But we're going to go over that. We're going to talk through this in the next 4 weeks or so and get some really good articles that relate to your topic and that teach you things about your topic. That's the big deal. You want to learn from these other scholars who have done all of this work. Learn from them and then take off from their position. Anyway, so about these articles that we're finding that you're writing about, there are several criteria. The articles must be found in an academic journal. If they are found in a newspaper or like a magazine, they don't count. They also have to be peer reviewed. And most of the articles that we find in the library, I mean, it's very easy to search for peer-reviewed literature. There's a library handout in the course documents folder on iLearn if you want to check that out. There's a box you can tick that says only show me peer-reviewed articles. You need to tick that box. So all the articles have to be about somebody's research study rather than somebody's theory on something. And that'll make more sense as you start to read the articles. The Bennett article, she is talking about her work that she did. She's going to introduce it, give it some background, talk about, she's going to do her own little mini lit review. She's going to talk about the methods that she used to gather her data. Then she's going to talk about what she found in her data and discuss it. That is pretty much the set format of many, many research studies, particularly quantitative. But lots of qualitative folks do the same thing. So that's what we're going to be looking for. They need to be qualitative for the most part. And again, they need to directly relate to your topic. Now, this isn't always going to happen this way, but your articles should be really cool to you. Like if you are really passionate about inclusion, middle school inclusion in reading, then I hope that the articles that you're reading about this subject are really fantastic. Read some that go against all of your experience. Read some that totally validate your experiences. Read some that are just far out there, if you can find them. Because those will really like challenge your thinking in the ways that you want to approach your topic here. So it can get boring, right? I mean, these are kind of dry research articles. But I hope that when you read them, you can kind of keep an open mind and really dig into what is meaty about them and how they can relate to your study. The Lit Review also has a thorough introduction that gives some context for your work. It also lists your research questions. After each description of an article, after the description of an article, for each one, you should have a little paragraph or a little section that includes a brief synthesis of the article and a description of how that particular article relates to your study. Okay, so we're going to have an introduction. We're going to have 12 entries, all of which have have a description of the study and the ways that it relates to your study. And then at the end of all that, we'll have a conclusion that synthesizes every article that you've written. So that's kind of how it looks. There are also some categories that you'll see in the examples that will work out. So that's kind of the basic shape of the review. So just to wrap it up, it's due really soon on July 8th. And here's a little kicker. A long time ago, I made plans to be out of town and unreachable, basically, from July 2nd through the 6th. If I could change it, I would, but I can't. So your Lit Review is due on the 8th. So from that week preceding the 8th, I will mostly be out of pocket. I will obviously be back on email on the 6th in the afternoon or evening, and we can kind of catch up from there. But this means that you should start early. Ask your questions now. For those of you who can manage it, if you get a draft to me by June 30th, I will look at it, give you extensive feedback before I give you a grade on it, before you turn it in for the final time. So I really encourage you to kind of get on the ball and put your nose down and start writing this Lit Review. Really, the beginning is about searching and reading, and then you start writing and synthesizing. Okay, that's about all I've got for today. Again, I'm really excited about this class, and I hope that you will email me with any questions that you have about this or anything. I'm going to try to do one of these a week. I don't know if I will, but if I have something to say, I will definitely form another lecture. So, be safe this weekend. Don't do anything really crazy. And I'll talk to you soon. I'm really looking forward to our talks next week. If you haven't signed up yet, please do so very soon. Thanks, guys.